hits 46. That's what the Daily Nation is telling us. This has to do with the rescue and recovery efforts picked up, and this is on page 4 of the Daily Nation, picked up the pace yesterday after heavy rains and thick mist subsided. And pictured there is a woman standing outside her damaged house yesterday after a tree uprooted uphill by the landslide on Friday night crashed into the village in West Pokot County, and she is just an example of the many other tragic stories. And this is a story that is on the top page: crisis as landslide death toll hits. And when it comes to tragedies that are weather-related, I feel like sometimes we need to be able to predict, because right now people have been told to evacuate that area. Is it impossible for us to actually foresee certain elements that are annual happenings?
I can tell you from where I sit. Actually, even today or tomorrow, we'll be issuing a statement as an authority to people who are living near the dams.
Yes.
Because most of the dams in the country are about to explode. We have received a lot of rain, which we are not expecting.
Yeah.
And the problem with the Kenyans is that they do not act and they don't yield to any warnings. You tell Kenyans, please, watch, take care, move away from this place because this and this is going to happen, and they totally ignore. I'm not saying that this happened because out of ignorance, but when we are building or when we are settling somewhere, we have to rethink on future, because anything can happen. We need to understand that nature is very unforgiving, and nature, you cannot control it. All those people who suffered, we feel sorry for them. And it's unfortunate that we lost lives, which could have been averted. And I would urge Kenyans to be listening to warnings, because weathermen has told us that we will be having a lot of rains. And if you know the place you live is not a safe place for you, you need to find a way of moving early before the rain starts. You don't have to wait until you start crying, like what weather is now talking about, Serikali's idea.
Yeah.
We need to get in, because it is about our lives. It's not about the government life.
Right.
It's about your life. So I want to take this opportunity to tell Kenyans that those who are living near the dams, because we know we have a lot of dams. Those dams, they may get a lot of water, which they cannot hold. And maybe even their spillways, they are not good enough, or they do not have the capacity to hold the water which is coming. Because whatever is coming may be more than the amount of water the spillway can hold, and that may lead to the dams bursting. So I want to take this opportunity to tell those people to stay away from those areas, because disaster can happen anytime. The amount of water we have received in this country, we have not received, and there are some areas actually which does not rain. Areas like Wajir, areas like Ukambani, areas like Mandera, we hardly receive rains, and the people, because they don't experience water anytime, they build their houses and they make their homes anywhere. So I want to tell them to be careful. We have requested all our regional and sub-regional managers to send us the report of the dams which are about to collapse, so that you can send warning to Kenyans as Water Resource Authority. And we expect more disasters to happen. So we want to warn Kenyans in advance. Yes.
Even as far as flash floods, I think that's another element that gets many areas by surprise. So perhaps that is another thing that locals should be looking out for. And this is a story that has also been splashed across page 2 and page 3 of the Standard. And all locals ordered to leave zone as death toll hits 41. And there's a woman who's narrating there. We had her in a story before, earlier on. I lost 3 children in the landslide horror. She says one of the children was latched onto her breast as she was rescued, but then she lost all of them. Then rains leave dozens of travelers stranded for the second day. Mr. Wedder, what's your take on this? This is on page 2.
May I wish that those who have been hurt, those who have lost their lives, may Jehovah console them. And my condolences to them, and also my condolences and sorrow as a country, because we perish because of ignorance.
Right.
If you see the Americans facing the hurricanes, if the hurricane came to Kenya, I think we will all be dead. And we'll be dead as those whom we are put in charge to do these jobs. I also talking from far, they have no idea. Like the coming rains. The world over now, it's so predicted that they know, if you live here, you're going to London, you're going to New York, they can predict to a letter, to a second, even the storms you will meet, the intensity, how they work. Here, I think, I don't know whether we still have a man called Ngwata Francis giving us the weather. Or there will be showers and some thunderstorms in the Rift Valley. And you know, Rift Valley comes from up there, all the way to down. And there will be the western region. Some very vague, fake stories that it is difficult for this Turkana man or lady just to know that that rain the fellow was talking about is coming here. Chairman is here saying some of our dams and whatever, and he knows he can kill us. By now you would have been a chopper going and saying we have surveyed this one, and we are telling people living 5 kilometers within this dam to move out. And they don't just move out, these are families. Another arm of government comes and says we have temporary structures, temporary shelters for these families as we wait for the rain, as we look at our figures. It is not just people talking from somewhere say, hey, you people down there, move, there will be rain, or move there, our dams will burst. And then somebody says, Ngwata Francis, I say Ngwata Francis because throughout my life as a young person, there used to be news, and after news there's weather. And weather there will be Ngwata Francis. And then you see something coming. There will be showers and thunderstorms in the Rift Valley. There will be wind and whatever in coast. Vague statement. And then people knew that the only people who tell lies are the weather people. Because they tell you to spread your wares outside, then immediately it starts raining. What am I saying? That whereas the world is so accurate, as a country we are so inaccurate that when it rains in Turkana and there are landslides, even now nobody has gone there. We are still appealing to them. We are appealing a family that has, even weather today, if you tell me, move out of where you are living, there will be thunderstorms and whatever. Somehow I'll call my friends like chairman here. Chairman, do you have a garage? I come. Now, what about these guys? So, as a country, Mr. President, these are your people. Please look at it. We used to have a special programs ministry. Now I don't know who it is under who. Please, let's do something. The weather can be very harsh. And when it is harsh, our people become very vulnerable. So as we are wearing suits, nice suits in the city, we don't feel the pain these people are feeling. We have given you divert resources quickly so that these people are given some form of help.
I think I need to answer Weda. Because sometimes Weda speaks as if he's in Churchill show. He speaks like a comedian. I don't know whether he really understands what he's saying. Because he just keeps throwing jibes to everyone he finds across, including me as the chairman. I want to tell you what we normally do, our mandate. We normally give warnings, and we have issued actually what we call orders for people to vacate from riparian land. I can tell you we have issued orders for people who are living in riparian land, and I can give you examples of this Green Park. We have issued orders. Those people went to court, and the court told them, no, don't move nowhere. Those orders are not valid. Once a court issues an order, there's nothing much I can do as a chairman. We have issued orders for people who are living across here. This the building which is behind the I-Rise. We issued orders for that building to be demolished. There are people living there. They are waiting to die. But we have given orders. Those people went to court. The owner went and said, no, I cannot be stopped. And the court agreed with them. We have gone across the country. We have people, we have officers across the country who move even through the chiefs and tell the chiefs, please tell these people that they are living near the river. They should move out. And the people they refuse. Actually, they stone our own officers. So when I hear Weda speaking as a Churchill in a comedian show somewhere that we are seated and doing nothing, you don't understand what we undergo or what we go through. We have done that. We have issued orders. I was in Kisumu last week, and I went and I found a gas station, a petrol station, built on top of a river. And I issued orders myself. I issued orders for that petrol station to be removed, because the moment that petrol station is wiped out, the oil spillage and everything will go to Lake Turkana, where that takes fish every day, and you will be affected. That is what we do on a daily basis.
Right.
So I want to tell you, we do a lot. It's only that Kenyans don't listen to us. And I'm calling for Kenyans to be listening to warnings from the expert. He's talking about Francis, well, I don't know who. Maybe that is the time he tuned on our TV, because I don't know whether he actually gets time to be on our TV apart from being on this show.
Right.
You need to know that we normally get those. KTN is doing a very good job, and they bring updates of weather after news on a daily basis. I want to tell you, the pressmen are doing their work to update Kenyans on what is happening, and the weatherman is also giving warnings every month.
Would you say it's a question of ignorance? Because right now, after the people have died, that's when you see evacuations happening. And so I think, is there something more we can do? Is it educating the people on why we are telling them to shift from these areas?
I would call it so, yes, it's out of ignorance, because those people who are living on the riparian land, we have given them warning, and they do not want to move. You go there, you find people as organized goons to chase you away. So they only call serikali when the rain comes.
Yeah.
These are people who actually live near the rivers, on the riparian land. They built near the river, at the edge of the river. And you tell people, this is a riparian land, please don't build here. And they refuse to move out. So what do you do with that person?
I think, let me clarify this. I talked about my brother has gone to riparian land. I was talking about those who are living on the path of the dams in case they burst. That's what he said. And that's why I said he should have taken a chopper, not around, and said, this number of kilometers, please move out. And then another arm of government says, as you move out, please, we have set out temporary shelters for you until the rains out. That is also assuming that the weather predictions are very accurate. I have said they are never accurate. For instance, and then the others who are not living in riparian. Those who are living in riparian are very few, and they can be authors of their own misfortunes. If you go to Kano today, Kano Plain, the whole part of Kisumu County, the Nyando River is likely to burst, and it will go into villages and sink villages. By now, should have predicted the amount of rain, warned people, told them, and even prepared where there are safe grounds as government. Because these people, I don't have money to build my home, then I have another one. Just in case the water is coming, I'll move to. So it is, these are temporary. This is what I am saying as a person who knows that individuals don't have the capacity. Now look at these Turkanas. They are in the right place. They are not in riparian land. But where they are is a danger zone. They have no way of knowing. It is us down here in the city who have been given resources to look at whether that can tell that the amount of rains we are going to receive this year at this time will affect you in that land. So we want you out for now. It happens in America, it happens in Russia, it happens in China, it happens in Japan. It should happen here. That is what I am saying. The weather people tell us there will be showers and thunderstorms. I have no reason to start moving. But I need to be told those showers and thunderstorms will be highly concentrated where you live in Semekombewa. We therefore want you to move here. Your dams may burst. If they burst today and you have not gone there to tell those people, 5 kilometers from the dam, downstream, we want you out until, let's say, January. That's what I'm asking you, Mr. Chairman. Take a chopper, go down there, come back, call the president, call the minister in charge of special programs. Let arrangements be done. Let's be ready. Let's not just come here and say we are praying for them. They don't need prayers for now. They need action from you and government and weather and all of us. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, let's close that chapter. Now, let's move on to another story that's making headlines on page 12. Questions for Matiang'i over Huduma numbers. Now, we're having senators wanting the CS to explain how the exercise gobbled up 6 billion Kenyan shillings and why issuance of cards has not yet happened up to date. A lot of people actually do question it because there was a lot of, we were promised fire and brimstone if we don't register for the Huduma Namba, but then it seems to have gone quiet and a lot of cash was, and the slip they even give you after, some questioned the seriousness of the whole process just based on that. Now, what's your take on this one and the amount and all that is developing following the Huduma Namba initiative?
One, I think we were told that Huduma Namba was not compulsory. It was voluntary. And what we need to be doing as Kenyans is to be a bit patient. The exercise was undertaken, and there is a process. You don't expect to have the government done that process and give you a card tomorrow, because there is a lot which needed to be done. I strongly believe that the Ministry of Interior is still working on that. They are burning their midnight oil to give Kenyans their Huduma numbers. So it is not yet over until it's over. So I don't know why we are jumping the gun, and they have not declared that we have failed. So if it is the government who told us that we will give Kenyans Huduma number and the exercise was undertaken across the country, right? We expect the government to honor its word. Right. Because we were promised that we'll get the Huduma number. So I will not sit here and tell Kenyans that the government has failed. Yet, we are yet to see the results. We have to wait and see the results, because this is a technical issue which requires people to sit down. They have taken the numbers, how to issue this. And being a person who comes from an IT background, I know what it means, because you can mess up. You can give me a card which duplicates the information of Word. And Kenyans need to be a little bit patient on Huduma number. Let us not rush. And I don't know why the Senate is just rushing to ask Matiang'i about this, because I don't know whether it is within their purview to do that.
Nobody did you, one of the sentiments from one of the senators, they say it is possible that this was a scheme just to spend public money and the results had already been predetermined. Every person that registered wants their card delivered, and all the persons that were recruited to carry out the exercise paid without any further delay. So there's the issue of the cards that haven't been seen 6 months on, and there's also issue of the young people who came out and were registered to work and do the work that haven't even been paid. So I think 6 months, justified some of these questions, I think. Don't you?
No, I don't. I think the senators are idle, so they're looking for work. So they pick up work here and work there. 6 billion is very little money if you have to deploy people the whole country to do work, and then you pay them and you buy kits and you relay. They know 6 billion. Yeah. So I really don't know. They are so idle that now they pick this. Remember, and I suspect, I'm not saying I know, that the information collected from Huduma Namba for the purposes of Huduma Namba may have been used for census purposes. Okay. I suspect so, because I never saw census people. They never came to my home, and they never came to my neighbor's home. And I was not worried, because I think since they were taking biometrics from others, it is easy to compare the biometrics which they didn't collect, and they added to the ones that were collected from Huduma Namba, and they are able to see they are different. And then this process of collating somebody, the name, the biometrics, the family, and all this, as a country, knowing our levels in ICT, 6 months is a short period. Okay. It's a very short period. So the
what about those waiting to be paid, at the very least?
The countries, we have very little money for now. Money is being paid for our loans. We are paying the Chinese for the railway and so. So Kenyans who did the work, this was temporary work. Yeah. Wait, you will be paid. There are many people who are owed. There are contractors who did jobs and did roads and have been waiting for the last 3, 4, 5 years. Yes. So there you die patient. I'm not saying they should not be paid. I'm only saying, looking at the country, and these are temporary jobs, there will be a delay. 6 months is not too long in a country that is struggling to pay some international debts. But for the senator, 6 months is not a time you start inciting wananchi, oh, this was just to make money, oh, yet you saw biometrics being taken, you saw kits being used. Yeah. That kind of loose talk should not come from a Senate. That should come from either the county assemblies or some meetings under trees. Senators, when they speak, it should be something very serious. When they accuse introduce government, we should be like, wow, the government did this. But when they also talk like they were doing some bosa meeting, then we will lose hope.
Okay, let's move on to another story that caught my attention. This is on the Business Daily. We rarely analyze this one, but I find it interesting that we are comparing Uhuru Kenyatta's economy score to President Mwai Kibaki, and we're told right here, Uhuru versus Kibaki score on economy revealed. Now, this is by a UK think tank that cut Kenya's score. This is on the top page of the Business Daily, score on economic quality to 37.5 from 39.3 in 2009. But then when you look at the situations for both presidents, you can pick out, for example, during Mwai Kibaki's era, there was more political goodwill. There's a sense of calm compared to President Uhuru Kenyatta's tenure, particularly his second term. So do you think this is a fair comparison, particularly given that even that BBI report has not come out and that his tenure is not even over? I'll start with you.
I think there's nothing to do with the BBI when it comes to economy. My take on that is that they are comparing two different worlds.
Yeah.
Because comparing President Uhuru Kenyatta and Mwai Kibaki, that person don't know what they are comparing. Because I said it here the other time, that President Uhuru Kenyatta is ruling under a new constitution.
Yes.
Kibaki did not have 47 excellencies in this country. He did not have 47 His Excellencies in this country. He did not see 47 counties in this country. And all those counties need money, and those monies everyone is stealing from the same, and this money comes from one central place, taxpayers' money, which Kibaki had at liberty to use. The money which is going to Machakos, Kibaki could use it to do anything else. My only issue with the current government is that there are so many directives which I don't think sometimes make sense. You remember we said that the old note should not be used after this particular date.
Yeah.
And Kenyans, if you listen to what is in the street, there are so many people, like the warders, who are out there still hiding a lot of 1,000 notes. They don't know what to do with it. If our Uhuru Kenyatta, what I could have done today is to give amnesty. If Weda is hiding 1 billion shilling somewhere and he don't know what to do, he should give him an amnesty and tell him, return that money, I will only take 10% out of it, and I will not ask you where you got it from. But people got scared when they were told that when you walk into a bank and you are asked, you want to bank your 1 million, you have a lot of questions, that how many wives do you have, why do you have 1 million? I think that is where we got it wrong.
Okay.
So we could have told those people, if you have this money, bring it in, so that we could have money in circulation and the economy will grow. When you do not have money in circulation, the economy cannot grow. When I just mentioned that we have suppliers and we have contractors who have not been paid by the same government.
Yeah.
And when there is no money actually paid out there for it to circulate, the economy cannot grow. There are those small and small-scale business people who thrive on small earnings. And if they do not get their money, the economy will not grow anyhow. So let us not compare Uhuru Kenyatta with Kibaki, because Kibaki did not have these counties which we are having today.
Yeah.
And I want to tell you today, I know whether we'll laugh to his last tooth. But the fact is the amount of money which is going to county, which is not being accounted, which is going to West, which is going to people's pocket, it is not growing the economy. It is growing individuals.
All right. Mr. Oda, do you agree?
I think my president, Uhuru Kenyatta, compared to President Kibaki, President Uhuru is my president in the sense that I fully support him then and now, kwa hali na mali. But comparing the two of them, I think my President Uhuru got the question of the economy topsy-turvy, got it wrong, in the sense that he made wrong choices for cabinet.
Oh, okay.
Quite a number of members of cabinet have no clue. They are clueless. That's why we glorify a few of them, just a few, about 3-4 of them.
Yeah.
And Kenyans and us believe if Matiang'i shows up, then there's hope.
Yeah.
Now Magoha has also taken charge. And it took so long for Magoha, the likes of Magoha to come in. There were the other charlatans messing around. So they got wrong people.
Yeah.
And this, I don't know whether it was whatever, because when they were elected in 2013, they wore very nice shirts, the president, the deputies. And they were saying, we are going to pick Kenyans who are, what, 2 children, 3 children. Yeah. It took another 6 months before the cabinet was complete. Yes. And then now the musical chairs began. You have the chessers, you have the kazungus, you have all these charlatans in cabinet. The result is we are now receiving the cumulated payment for the incompetencies, the mistakes. So in the result is that as we talk today, let me go to my usual figure. Okay, you compare the price of unga in Kibaki's time and my president's time, and you know there's a problem. Yes. And the problem is not because of the president, but because of the people he's picked. Yeah. Therefore, there's need for improvement because there are standards. Kibaki did well, he left us with the roads, he left us with the, and then the debt burden was not that high. Here we have a very high debt burden. I am saying this because I want my president to finish strong. The areas you repair, you repair back to goodness, so that in the remaining 2 years, he finishes strong. But if we just hear him and say they had 47 excellencies, they send very little money to the counties, which are also stolen. But the remaining part is what we are saying, Mr. President, do a good job here. There are some people you should have sacked from cabinet yesterday or last week, but he has not, because they are there. So they keep on jumbling up the crisis like this. They'll go there and then they talk and they disappear. Now,
if in the 2 years left, do you think if he did the sacking that you're talking about, he could be able to turn things around economically in a significant way?
Yes, you saw what the work Magoha has done in a short while compared to what our big sister Amina was doing. You have seen the internal security when Matiang'i went there for a short period. You see the result. You look at education when Matiang'i was there, you look at the result. There must be, if somebody is competent, you don't need 10 years, you just need, look at now water, the chairman is here and things are moving. You can put another charlatan who will be there. You say, where are the dams? Him, you hear he was in Kisumu, he's seeing people who are built on riparian petrol station. He's saying this is the correct thing. Others will be like, have they really built on what is riparian land? So we are talking about the leader. Where I come from, if you want to know a good piece of fish, you don't look at the tail or the body, you look at the head. When the head is rotten, say samaki mbaya. If the head is good, so you need competent. Look at the ministers, the good ones. The ministries are moving fast. My brother, the Minister for Finance, for 6 or 7 years, he led us down the drain. And we said it. I said it in this program. I sat here and said, he is doing what is called voodoo economics, Mr. President. Understand? We did not understand. Until now, we are deep inside the hole. So, if, for instance, he was to move my brother Mwangi Kiunjuri to a more lighter duties, a ministry with lighter duties, then he gives agriculture to serious people like Jomo Tambo here. Things will move, but now they are there, watu wa nyumbani. What do you do?
Okay, that winds up our press review. When we come back, we'll have the way it is when you take a look at the BBI and the latest as far as that hot topic is concerned.